away to other places. But here we go. We get to go into the match. And Spacestation on attack, as you stated. EG on defense as well. So EG gets the ban first. It's going to be Jackal. That's a sensible ban. Very powerful operator, and one that sometimes you just don't want to deal with. Yeah. On Consulate, he is not as amazing as some other maps, but still can be very useful. Capital, finding himself banned a lot today. Good at picking apart bomb sites. I would say he's especially good at attacking the bottom floor of this this map, but he can be used pretty much anywhere. He's a very dynamic operator. Also, despite Redeemer no longer being on Space Station, we are going to see a ban of Maestro. It is actually from Space Station, so kind of interesting. And Echo will also be gone. That's interesting. We don't usually see a Maestro and an Echo both banned. Makes for a really fun match when neither of them are here. Fun because it's not played as it usually is.
They are both very, very strong operators.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that we have both expressed our thoughts on ways to possibly change them around, but possibly make them less potent on defense. But I think that is on up to us, because as we are not ESL admins, we are equally not developers.
No.
So, no. So that is correct.
We talk about the game.
We just watch it.
And talk about it. That's our job description. So, middle floor defense here to start things off. And see the drops are going to be opened up by EG early on. That means we're probably going to see some C4 presence from below. We've also got the pulse being brought. So C4 from below is well, it's being screamed by EG. That's clearly their strategy here. We've also got the smoke. He's probably going to play by projector. Going to open up those holes and can smoke from above. Only one ACOG being brought. It's not essential to bring any more. Bulletproof camera on the dock. Much information as possible. You can see it's already placed inside a B. That's because B is one of the hardest sites to retake in this, well, map, I suppose, as it does not have any soft walls. Soft ceiling, sure. Soft walls, no. Overall, good set of denial here from EG. Might catch SSG off guard, the fact that it's middle floor first, but I'd be surprised if it trips up SSG in any way, shape, or form.
This is great patience here of Brian. Almost zen-like, as he and the rest of the team will now decide to rappel on in. Rampy will join, and they will take full control of that.
Control of admin now accomplished.
The quick charge, the quick deploy breaching charges. Rampy will place it down. Great practice. Takes it right back up. He's going to use that somewhere else, Michael.
He might have been able to call out that pulse there. Good information from Rampy using these.
Why use a breaching charge when you have a sledgehammer just to smash it, as the pulse is still being discovered down below. And that will be Rampy now back out the window. So Rampy, to characterize what Rampy just did, he repelled in, deployed a breaching charge, picked up the breaching charge, repelled back out.
And now he is scanning the area with his gadget.
There you have it.
That's it. That's what happened in the first minute of the round. Did he just throw two drones? Am I tripping?
One of them hit and one of them missed.
Okay, I thought I was just having a little deja vu there, but no, through his drums.
Yep.
Now he's going to be droning out Visa. So, all the while, Pulse been gathering quite a lot of information. He's going to be calling that out to his team.
Really have a lot of map control right now. I mean, you've got admin, and that's really about it. It looks like Chala's outside of the building, too. And Thinking Nade's going to join them. This lobby defense from EG might actually be confusing Space Station. I don't think they were expecting. Also, I think that is Geo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Geo. I think he's done this before, right?
Geo has had 4 different names that I have seen.
Geometrics.
Sleepy Geo, Senpapi Geo, Geometrics.
He's
Geolicious.
He did a Geolicious?
Geolicious.
Really?
Yes, 5 names.
I didn't know that one.
The man changes names as much as he changes teams.
Ooh.
That wasn't a diss. He's just been on a variety of different teams.
Okay.
Good position, though, for him as he looks up towards this window. Might get spotted out, but I think SSG is well aware of his position in here. A vault will be their undoing. As great patience, his phone will ring for exactly 12 seconds as the smokes get tossed out from Chala. And it'll excise the site. Chala's just in waiting. There you go. Geo takes out Rampy. Bosco refrags on NVK. Chala looks the wrong way, absorbing quite a bit of damage. Some fire through the smoke as Necrox will finish him off. Plant going down. And it's successful. The newest member of Space Station will now get out of dodge as Thinking Nade holds the rotate. On to Canadian. Geo picks up kill number 2 onto Brian as Thinking Nade still posted up on that spiral stairs watching. Possible rotate behind him So whether or not there's going to be a flank, and that will be Thinking Nade's job. Bosco is still up, so the dual SAS operators will be here tasked with protecting this diffuser, with 3 members of EG to try and locate them. Diffuser is at halfway range, no counter diffuse or disable for the time being. Thinking Nade just coming on up. Necrox will take out Bosco, and now Young will stick to defuse. Waiting to see if Thinking Nade can do anything about this. But he's too distracted. He doesn't know, and he's cut down by Necrox, and EG will hold on. A great post plant. SSG does get that diffuser down admirably. It was a Pyrrhic victory, bleeding out too many resources. And EG responds in the perfect way possible with good coverage, using their numbers advantage.
Spacestation committed too much to the initial push to guarantee the plant. Evil Geniuses retracted the fuelers, sensing the danger, resulted in EG retaining enough of their manpower to later retake the site and get the disable off. Nice attempt there from SSG, but a very good read by Evil Geniuses, have to say. And that allowed them to get the win. They'll be going to the top 4 now. Usually the #1 site on this map. No castle being brought here. Be a little bit more of a fluid defense, likely, from Evil Geniuses. Castle's not essential, of course, by any stretch of the imagination, especially not considering the way that EG wants to handle this so far. They've been playing a little bit more of an off-site type defense. At least that's what they displayed to us on the first round. They're also going to be setting themselves up for a similar strategy here in this round. You see they're opening up the closet walls. They can play on yellow and deny the B windows from the yellow staircase using this setup. Valkyrie, of course, being brought because she has not been banned, and on Consulate, she's one of the most powerful operators. There is an IQ, though, and it's likely the IQ will be played throughout this match, though Rampy hasn't had the best record on IQ so far. Did not call out that pulse, it seemed, early in the round, last round. A little bit of a lackluster information gathering.
They knew where he was for the first half of the round, and then the transition, it just didn't really land, and Rampy, ironically, ended up being the one who got killed by it.
Yeah.
It's like, you used 2 drones, Rampy, you had the sensor, you knew Geo was down there. All you needed to do was go back on it, and you would have had a pretty good idea.
Rampy is definitely in a very high-pressure situation, playing on IQ. He needs to accomplish a lot as this role. He's playing against a Pulse, a Valkyrie, and he's got the Jaeger ADSs. There's so much for him to deal with. So, really on him to not make mistakes. It's a difficult thing to accomplish. This is a good camera here. Actually should be protected from IQ for a good amount of time, at least, forcing some exposure, I'm sure, from the IQ in order to get the camera. Habana opening up a hole here that's going to cut off rotation from the Visa stairs. No defender going to come from there throughout the round. Young's the perfect role to hold on to this A-bomb site right now.
This is a spot that Young is playing in that is a lot of times referred to as Bosco spot, which is very interesting here. Down goes the sole hard breacher on Consulate. Brian just not looking, meet his fate at the hands of his fellow countrymen, and Canadian tossing up that C4 onto the pulse roll, which was something that Geo had flexed off of. So
this is, again, you know, it's not necessarily Rampy's fault, but it is a bit of a failure of the IQ to allow something like that to happen. Not a good situation to be in. High pressure roll right now, whether Rampy knows it or not. Necrox going to be roaming downstairs, and he's just doing his best to deny the vertical pressure.
We all know how well Rampy frags on the Ash. Without an ACOG on that R4C, it'll be something to keep an eye on as to how he's able to track as a player using somebody else differently now. So only 45 seconds. There goes the Dokkaebi call. First logic bomb goes out. It'll recharge, but the smoke will get caught by an ADS. This is bad utility usage from Spacestation. We'll see if they're able to course correct. An EMP will go down to try and take out the ADS as another smoke canister. Smoke grenade will likely get tossed at some point. Just whether or not it'll be caught, well, that's the good question. You still got Canadian playing from below. He's going to be a wild card now as NVK spots one body heading on into console office, or to projector rather, as there goes Thinking Nade getting that diffuser down. But Geo picks up 2 huge kills. Thinking Nade gets that diffuser down, but it might all be for naught yet again. Canadian shut down from Thinking Nade. He's doing great work with a 2-piece of his own. And now look at Necrox and Geo's HP. Still got some stim pistols from NVK. Going to possibly contest onto Chala, who's prone for the time being. Down goes NVK, who'll try to self-res, but Chala finishes him off. Necrox gets cut down himself. It's all up to Geo. He manages to secure Chala. Oh, it takes out Thinking Nade as well. He's got them all. Canadian has been able to take the ace away, but Gio will walk on up and grab that diffuser. And what a post plant from Gio himself to give EG round number 2. Despite daunting odds, EG ever so impressive in the face of adversity.
Well, thinking was about to get, I believe, a 4K there. He was pretty close to doing the same thing that Gio did, but on the attack, not happening. He also got the plant. Very impressive round. I was surprised at how little denial we had on the side of Evil Geniuses. You would have expected there to be more presence on the site, but not the case. Following the initial entry, it was a pretty easy plant there for Space Station. Young fell off of the projector bomb site. Instead of trying to control, he just rotated to connector. Because of that, there was... Well, that's where all the denial went from EG. However, that mentality of falling back and going for a retake has worked now 2 rounds in a row for Evil Geniuses. Clearly the right decision. And, well, see if they can continue that trend. It's going to be basement now. They've gone, well, they haven't finished the full circle yet, but they're getting pretty close. There is a 4th bomb site on this map, but it's often unused. And
so seldom played.
And the consulate full circle is when you defend top floor, middle floor, and bottom floor all successfully in a row.
To be fair, that used to be the old rotation because there were only 3 bomb sites on consulate. You know, we might be aging ourselves a little bit. At Teller's Archives bomb site, it's the split level between the first floor and the basement. It was only added just a couple months back.
Right.
I think we saw it. It was after Paris, if I recall correctly, was where it was added, which would have been, I guess, September of last year. So actually quite a while. It was 7 months ago.
No, I think the reason why that site doesn't get played very often is honestly why. I think a lot of teams figure, why would we try to spend time practicing that site? I mean, we have seen some squads actually force it out, like G2, for example, way back when it first came out. They brought it a few times to try and trip people. But, I mean, all the other sites on consulate are great. You know, middle floor, top floor, bottom floor. There's a lot of variety of strategy on how to hold them. A lot of teams enjoy holding them. So why would they go out of the way?
There's a logic bomb just to try to figure out where the roamers are that are being played off-site by Evil Geniuses. Right now, it hasn't really done all that much. It was Canadian who was playing aggressively upstairs. He looked like he might have been hunted down by Rampy. And that won't be the case, as Canadian is going to continue to just exist. He's heading on over to Zulu downstairs, where he's just going to sit and wait for the time being.
Detected a bomb.
Expecting some presence on yellow stairs, but there's nobody nearby. Rampy's the closest, and he's a room away, and he's not going to bother with that yellow stairs at all. Still one logic bomb available as well for Chala. As we'd mentioned, one had been used just about 30 seconds ago. You're probably going to need that as you're getting the plant down. If you're EG, you're going to want to try to drain out this utility, if possible, but right now, SSG, their entry has not been very successful through 3 rounds. Through the first 2 rounds, it didn't do all that much. They scrambled to get the plant down. They did it successfully. Both rounds, they got the plant down, and NVK cuts down Bosco onto the Nomad. It's going to be flank denial gone and a big hole to fill for SSG.
This is a roamer inside a bathroom, and there's 2 minutes already expended from SSG, and they haven't taken care of the roamer bathroom. NVK will fall back because he has no reason to stay in bathroom anymore. Whether or not he's feeling pressure does not matter. He can simply hold from the site and win the round on time. EMP's going to the garage. There is no thermite here, though. He hasn't been banned. He just hasn't been brought. So it's going to be Habana to open up the garage. A little bit of an oversight, I'd say, in terms of utility from SSG. They knew it had to be either the new bomb site or basement. You would probably bring a thermite in this situation, given that information.
It's Chala who usually plays the thermite. They've got him holding that diffuser. He's going to be playing the Dokkaebi this time around. It's not a lot of time to work, but there you go. Rampy trying to keep this even. He shuts down Young. You're going to need a couple more of those if you're SSG, because your biggest issue is going to be that you only have those Habana holes to get with. You're going to try to salvage something here. Chala goes for the plant, abandons it. Canadian is still nowhere to be found. Close to sight. Both teams will trade one body off, thinking Nate is getting the diffuser down. Necrox takes out Canadian. Oh, no! And SSG manages to somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat. That looked like it was almost certainly going to be an Evil Geniuses round. Unwise team kill from Necrox, but so the rest of SSG, just good coverage, holding down the garage itself and allowing Thinking Nate to try to get the diffuser down. The first round for SSG on the board comes at a good time.
that was a messy round. We have those from time to time, and that was up there. Team kills happen. A little bit of a whoops there from Necrox, but it's, you know, again, it happens. The overall round, though, it seemed like Evil Geniuses were going for a little bit of a hands-off strategy again. Wait for the plant, go for the retake. But they had too much manpower exposed, too many early picks from Spacestation. Then when EG went for the retake, they tripped all over themselves. Not to mention, Garage is one of the hardest places to retake on this entire map. So overall, not the best setup from EG. They couldn't rely on their just pure gunplay to win them that round. We'll go back to middle floor. So, not quite a full circle here from EG. It's a loss on the end there. Bringing a rook. It's quite interesting. Canadian gonna bring the rook. Arm pack already placed. You don't usually see that operator, but can be very powerful in the right hands. And if you want the double ACOG, those MP5s. Again, so Bank is one of those maps where you're going to be seeing a rook and a dock, right? I think Consulate is also kind of in the same wheelhouse. It's a lot of long angles, but outside.
Especially that second floor.
True.
You put a body up over near the bathroom. You put a body up inside a console office. You can even possibly put a body up inside of admin. If you want to be one of the few teams these days that actually defends admin, which doesn't really happen all that much, but I mean, it is definitely doable, and that's where you want to be, so. And, I mean, we mentioned it, and there you go. Goodbye to Chala. That Dokkaebi, who has been a bit of a pain in the behind, and the only set of smokes that's available for Space Station, will be taken out of the equation. Oh, Brian is getting the diffuser down. He's just in. He's going to choke on some smoke, and he's going to fall off. So there you have it. He needed to fall off as quickly as he could. Young picks up his second kill. Canadian is there, and there you go. These ACOGs, he put to good work. Bosco was a bit off of the plot in this case. He's going to hold an angle all the way to yellow, but essentially a dead man walking at this point. He's a talented player, but a 1v4 up against multitudes of ACOGs with a minute and a half to go. He might not even have a drone at his disposal, and every single air jab has been played out as well. There you go.
Well, it did something.
Great perspective from Canadian as he gets knocked. I believe they say ass over tea kettle on that one. As he gets sent flying, but that's going to be very limited. And this round's in the books at this time.
Yeah, it's done.
There's no real point.
Yeah. But so, okay, SSG have had a decisive focus on the site, on playing the objective, and EG have just been waiting for them to do that and pouncing on them when they do. That's it. It's a good mentality from Evil Geniuses that's paying off very well for them in these rounds. SSG, most of their casualties happened inside, in Piano specifically. And Evil Geniuses let SSG get into Piano so they could win that round. It's a great collapse from EG once again. The strategy paying off. It's going to be a top floor defense. So we go for another attempt at full circle. Looks like EG has the full momentum in their corner right now. The way that they've been playing, they're just winning their gunfights on the retakes, and it's working out over and over and over again. Just didn't work out in the basement. That's it. That's the full story right now. Set up upstairs again. So the way that SSG attacked this, they came from admin office last time. They got control of A, got the plant, because Young fell out of A to hold from connector, play a little safe, into the whole strategy that EG have been employing throughout the match. It worked out on the retake.
One ACOG being brought as well from Geo this time.
They've been changing up roles quite a lot. Have you noticed?
I mean, EG has a lot of versatility. Look at Space Station and the fact that they've been bringing almost identical lineup every single time. They made some alterations here or there. Bosco's flexed off of the Sledge onto the Nomad, but by and large, everybody else has maintained the exact same roles. The Canadian even said in an interview that it was both him and Geo who typically end up being those 6 picks. So there you have it. I also mentioned that very few teams defend admin, and what do we have in front of us?
It's an admin hold from Necrox. I mean, you're right. It's a rare thing to see.
You also had Geo playing behind that deployable shield, leading into the staff kitchen.
Look at that. It's a difficult hold. Most teams treat admin control for the attack as a foregone conclusion. They just say, oh yeah, we're not going to worry about it. Not so here for EEG. But it looks like it's prompted a rotation from SSG. Did SSG just see the hold in admin and say, nah, let's go somewhere else? Is that what happened?
I believe they said, heck it.
Heck it, we'll go for B.
We'll go for somewhere else. And probably wise.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Geo take down that deployable shield. He's also going to rotate over because EG is likely wise to SSG's maneuvering. And you now have to build over on the other site to realize, hey, it's going to be a console office take.
Yeah.
And EG is set up 50-50. They had a good hold over towards B if they needed it. And now, additionally, they have one over towards this console office all over here. Or rather, they had one on A and B. As you can see, Cubby, not reinforced. They've shot out the bottom of it. So if there is a push from SSG, EG can retake it from Yellow Stairs.
If nothing else, I appreciate that SSG didn't waste too much time with admin office. They'd made the decision quickly, and they were decisive. Now they have to reevaluate the strategy, though. That's the problem. Created a whole new strategy to attack onto the other bomb site. Necrox is going to Jaeger juggle himself into aliveness on the Yellow Stairs. Canadian will take out Brian. That's a good pick there. Canadian getting very aggressive on those players who are repelling.
Bomb located.
Just playing inside of B bombs, or yeah, the B bomb site, taking fights from the bomb itself. This is honestly, he should be punished for this, but SSG are not taking the fight and winning it. And so he's allowed free reign over this bomb site.
These are your logic bombs. Just patiently waiting by the window is going to be Canadian. Keep in mind, these shut off after 12 seconds now, so with the 50 seconds left in the round, this is opportunity for EG to just weather the storm. The storm seems to be picking up speed violently, thinking Nade will sweep Necrox away, and Bosco, the big brain plays, will kill himself, of course. Now, depriving EG of the ability to kill Bosco is, of course, an admirable goal as Canadian picks up a frag of his own, looks for a second on the Yellow Stairs, a repel into bathroom, and Young is going to cover one angle. There's two bodies that will be within sight of Young in just a second as another member of Spacestation is on the Yellow Stairs. And they're a little sequestered on one side of the map. But Thinking Nade putting good work, and Young understands where Thinking Nade's position is. Young calls out, and he gets rampy as well. And EG will continue to build upon this lead that they have. They are now up 4-1. They have completed lobby and consulate twice. They will go back downstairs to garage, barring a curveball sending us to Teller's Archives.
Thinking Nade has been seriously fragging out, but that's about it. That's what we've got going for SSG right now through these 5 rounds. They made an adjustment, all right? They came off of admin office. I like that they did it so quickly. They went for a B take instead. They went on that repel. They were on it within a minute. Great efficiency there from Spacestation. And then Canadian single-handedly denied access to the bomb site and access to repel on those B windows, the west side of the building. That's it. That's the full story. Canadian denied that access. They shifted to try and take control of Yellow. At that point, they had lost so much manpower that it didn't really matter. Evil Geniuses weren't even holding Yellow. SSG got control of Yellow pretty easily. It was because it was given to them. And following that, there wasn't enough time for SSG to do anything or accomplish anything. They didn't have enough manpower, and they all just fell trying to push into the building from Yellow. So yeah, it was an interesting lockout from EG, specifically Canadian. You really got to praise Canadian for holding on to B. Great job to him. Individual efforts deserve applause like that, but no, not a whole lot to be shown on the SSG side of things. We're going to go back to the basement. Only site that SSG has managed to win an attack on so far. This is the last defensive round for Evil Geniuses. And this could be a pretty easy 4-2 split if SSG can repeat their efforts from last time. Though I will mention, last time again, EG tripped all over themselves. So who knows, could be something different.
We'll see exactly what happens here. Both teams have made some mistakes. Obviously, Bosco blowing himself up.
Yeah.
Inadvertent. Necrox killing Canadian. Also likely inadvertent, but who knows?
Maybe he was really angry at Canadian at that moment
in time. He just really needed that to feed that feeling of bloodlust, you know. But who knows? Last defensive stead for Evil Geniuses. They're bringing a bunch of different tools. Once again, you've got a different lineup for this team. Things look to be pretty normal for SSG. They brought a Thermite this time, which is great. You know, and I've been remarking on Spacestation's inflexibility now twice, and I think it really showed on that last garage take. You mentioned that the Hibana wasn't necessarily a great idea. You know, it's going to be a Teller's Archives defense, or it's going to be a garage defense. Bring the Thermite no matter what. It's a good choice.
And now they have.
Right.
That's good.
I think that flexibility needs to happen for Spacestation. I mean, Evil Geniuses have long proven themselves to be one of the most flexible teams in the region. Up there with Rogue's flexibility as well, even though I would say that Rogue's flexibility actually kind of looks like it's taken a step back. EG has continued onwards. Despite their inflexibility on rolls, at least SSG is still being able to use the tools at their disposal, depending on whatever different compositions they run. Rampy will get lead-off kill on the Canadian, find the buck, or not the buck, rather, find the pulse, and be able to take him down.
Good job there, getting the early pick, and that's, if nothing else, a C4 denied. Lots of information that won't be gathered by EG, using that cardiac sensor. Just trying to isolate flanks, as you can see from SSG. Good hammer there, but he will not be able to react to the player he sees just below. Better to get away with his life. There is a C4 in the hands of that player, and that's Geo, as you can see.
It's one of those things where you at least do it just to put pressure on the team below you. You might not necessarily be there, but the defenders aren't going to know that there's nobody in the presence of that sledge hole. So now you just have EG, once again, anchoring down their positions. And MVK will patrol over on those yellow stairs. He's wide open and exposed, and could possibly be a pick through that gaping hole in the garage. He'll cut down one body of Brian. C4 goes up from NVK, and it will just miss the sledge of Bosco. No damage done. There goes the logic bombs, but EG will be very committed to pressing on out. Be aggressive in this retake as Chala eliminates NVK, and the rest of SSG are just knocking at the door. Bit of a too brazenness from Young, as it's all SSG everywhere. It's all up to Necrox just to hang on. Diffuser going down from Chala, but what's Necrox going to be able to put together? Nothing. The grenade slams that door in Necrox's face, and from the first half, EG will emerge victorious, 4-2, but Spacestation has some momentum here now they could possibly build upon as they switch sides.
Looks like we will have a rehost, but we'll wait for the admin call on that one. It's a good half from Evil Geniuses, SSG. Props to them for not losing the opportunity of attacking and winning on the basement. Got that twice. If they obviously would be in a 6-0 situation if they couldn't manage at least one of those sites. So seriously, good on them. And they were very decisive in that last round, I have to say. And that wasn't because Evil Geniuses were tripping up. It was just excellent play from SSG. So EG, incapable of holding the bottom floor, SSG having a good attack there. That salvages the match here. I think SSG has the talent. And while, yeah, they've got the more recent roster change, I don't know. I think they've got what it takes. If they can just be a little bit more focused, I guess. It looks as almost like we have a few of the SSG players kind of not in the right mindset right now. And that's why you were relying on individual plays from Thinking Nade, for example, or Rampy getting some frags here and there to, allow these wins to happen in rounds.
Both Thinking Nade and Rampy have had a very impressive day.
Yes.
Thinking Nade in particular, tasked with getting the diffuser down a couple times and then also trying to clean up in the post plant. I think he's been all over the place in terms of what he's been able to accomplish. And I don't mean that negatively. I think that he's done an exemplary job in all the different roles that he's been utilized in today on that secondary role, using more of support operators, primarily playing the Thatcher in an aggressive way. Brian and Chala have been having a bit of a bad day, but I mean, at the same time, Brian in particular is not really in a job to get a lot of kills or frags, right? Whereas you can't really take that away from him. He's been using his utility as best as he can, although he has had some unfortunate deaths to start things off with. How's that going to work on defense? Because you're going to likely keep Brian on site, which means that he should be one of the last alive through most of these rounds, alongside Chala and Bosco, depending on the way that these teams use their composition.
So, I might be mistaken, but that looks like we are going to be seeing Archive Stellars from Space Station.
All right.
So we're talking about mixing things up, and this is certainly going to stir the pot a little bit. Change the way that EG is going to approach this round. I really want to see how they set the defense up here, because I don't know, it's just a site we don't see very often. One thing that is a staple of this bomb site is that impact hole you can see by the Visa stairs. That is super common. In fact, I think it's an essential impact hole for this site. Allows you to rotate into A, whereas the only other two ways to get in there are through the windows or the doorway, which is just too dangerous, can be easily cut off by the attackers, so that's a nice safe space. It does make it so as a defensive team you need to retain control of Visa stairs throughout the round, though. And that's not the hardest thing to do necessarily, but it's certainly not easy. And the attack can cut that off. SSG have set themselves up in an interesting way. Looks like they're going to try and hold the Teller site from Archives based on those, not impact holes, but I suppose shotgun holes were made, constructing the site, or deconstructing the site from Space Station. Castle, I think, is going to perform a very essential function here. We can see he's placed one of his barricades inside Z to try and deny that angle to Evil Geniuses, but of course, Canadian playing Ash, he'll be able to open that up pretty easily.
I feel like today we've seen quite a bit of Castle, but I think with Spacestation we almost always see him. He tends to be one of the staple operators that they use, especially on maps like Clubhouse and here on Consulate as well. So it's not. I would imagine that we're probably going to see a Castle pick from Spacestation on most of these rounds. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But if history proves to be any indicator of the future, then...
Well, certainly this site and the top floor, right? And probably middle floor too if they go there.
On middle floor, you just use the Castle likely to try and keep people away from Projector.
Or yeah, top floor hold the roam.
When you're gonna just defend over top of that main lobby anyway.
Interesting that Canadian decided to breach that instead of using one of his, well, breaching charges. He used the Ash charge. Not necessary, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. He doesn't have anywhere else to use the utility, so be it. Evil Genius is continuing to set themselves up around the site, just trying to look for pick opportunities. None have presented themselves so far. This mirror window is going to be of interest to Evil Geniuses. Might give them pause when going for a rush into site. Because it looks like it's a bait setup from Space Station right now.
This is a utility dump going on right now. There's a logic bomb that goes off. Gio will also expend some of his Zofia launcher, but that'll be all it takes as both Chala and NVK fall. Nomad is able to establish a couple air jabs before being felled. Young going for the defuse now, but falls off to help the rest of his team. He gets called out, and Rampy picks up kill number 2. Bosco and Thinking Nate are both there to collect one of their own. And Necrox upstairs will twist in the wind.
Yeah, so this round so far has been, like I said, a straight bait strategy from Space Station. They left the Teller site pretty open and exposed, said, hey, come and get it. No one really holding on to the site directly, but in the periphery, lots of roamers. We had roamers upstairs from Space Station, roamers downstairs from Space Station. That dropped down in the main lobby, opened up. Ooh, Necrox could clutch this out. That was an excellent shot. This is actually very winnable. He's got control of Visa, which doesn't amount to much. The diffuser is in the site, though. Pressure from the side. Ooh, sees one in the Habana hole and does a little bit of damage, but not securing the kill is huge. He's got to contest the mirror window, which is not going to be easy, but going for... No, what? What is he doing? Necrox, oh no, tries to use his gadget. He's running out of time. He has to go for a plant, but there's someone coming up from behind. This should be an easy denial, and it will be. The C4 and the flank. Necrox saves the KD. You can't blame him.
Yeah, you might as well deny it. Evil Geniuses the opportunity to get the kill. They wanted it. They go for the C4 instead of just possibly, you know, or SSG getting that kill.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted it. They had the C4 ready for the ultimate BM. Instead of just going for the kill.
I think...
It's the equivalent of going up and standing while they're getting the plant down, then just knocking them.
Yeah.
Then jumping up and down over top of them.
You ever seen...
Very distinct motion.
You ever seen somebody on your... So getting team killed when you're down, when there's no way to save you, and they just want to deny the kill to the enemy? You ever seen that?
I haven't seen that. I mean, I probably have, but it doesn't...
That's another one of those.
The disrespect.
I don't know. There's a lot of ways
the audacity.
There's a lot of ways to be audacious in Siege. So, middle floor here, after winning the new bomb site from SSG. Again,
I like that curveball.
Yeah, the curveball was great. The strategy was great. Space Station, the way they set themselves up. I love the bait there onto Tellers. They defended it in an unorthodox way. I gotta appreciate that. The way that Evil Geniuses...
And unorthodox, Michael.
I thought I said an unorthodox way.
Unorthodox.
All right, so whatever I said, I don't remember. Evil Geniuses now find themselves closer to an even match here. We're getting pretty close here. Space Station might give us a match after all, as much as the 4-2 split was suggesting otherwise.
That unpredictability here. That Lobby almost had that distinction for a while. Back when we didn't have the same site rotation, a lot of teams would almost never go to Lobby.
Yeah, way back.
So when somebody would bring out a Lobby, you'd think to yourself, oh, okay, you know, it's
Curveball.
a bit odd.
Yeah.
It's an oddity. Yeah, and a curveball's a good way of putting it, so... At least for the time being, EG will go to something a little bit more normal, which will be that Lobby defense, as I had just mentioned. The key is going to be taking control of that second floor.
Yep.
And look at that. You got Brian playing in Bosco spot. But that castle will come out again from Rampy, and it's not going to be applied in any way that will assist Bosco, who is actually sitting in Bosco's spot. I apologize. Bosco is actually sitting in Bosco's spot. That is interesting enough.
Bosco, still in Bosco's spot.
Yeah, still in Bosco on the Bosco spot.
A run out here from the Thinking Nade. Well, Doc will do a lot of damage, but not secure the kill. Some seriously egregious missed shots there.
Geo almost missed that one as well, but Thinking Nade really should have been able to capitalize.
Yeah.
Necrox is very close to being able to push on in here to Projector, as the explosives from that proximity-based concussive will miss Bosco, and there will be 3 bodies to pressure him. You got Bosco getting aggressive here. He gets caught in the connector by NVK. That's good damage from the Nomad to be able to dispatch one member of Space Station playing from above, and Evil Geniuses will have an even greater lead.
Oh no.
Now Brian is in a position to go for a run out. There's a body upstairs on top of that balcony, but Brian will not be able to hit them, as they will be out of view of the smoke should he to choose to dive on out. Spinchal has been tasked with pushing up towards the main door now and possibly try to lock down a push in from anybody on Space Station or from anybody on Evil Geniuses. Keep in mind, EG does have some HP missing on Canadian, Young, and Geo, as Canadian just taking a bit of damage to his own breaching round as it takes out one of the castle barricades in Zulu. And you've now got entryway, should you want to go towards the back of that bathroom. There goes the logic bomb, and NVK will find his second frag. As SSG will now battle from behind, and he'll get even farther back, as Brian knocked onto his heels. It's under fire from Canadian. There's a multitude of bodies around him. Doesn't really matter who's credited with that kill, but it's routine work as usual, as Evil Geniuses picks up round number 5, 1 round away from securing themselves 1 point in this match.
A little bit of excitement, celebration there. Possibly a little too early from Evil Geniuses. They're still 2 rounds away from a victory here. 1 round away from that draw, like you said. It's going to be top 4 from Space Station. Looks like they're going to not try a repeat of something that just did not work. The interesting thing to me is they're going to be going to top floor next. And, well, okay, what happened in that last round? EG got a bunch of picks on the top floor. They set themselves up to take out those roamers, and they took out those roamers. Following that, it was a pretty easy push onto the site from Evil Geniuses, and, well, they got site control. They didn't even need to go for a plant. It's pretty much over at that point. So, now actually defending the top floor, Space Station have to be wary of that presence from Evil Geniuses, and, well, try not to expose themselves too much. Curious that they're not going to bring a castle, as we theorized earlier in the match. Is very useful on this top floor, but just not being brought. There's also a Kaid. Not 100% sure what the plan is with the Electro Claws. He put 1 in the connector. I guess he probably just wanted to bring the DMR shotgun. Some people really love this shotgun.
Almost nobody uses the AUG, for good reason. It's kind of not great.
The AUG?
Oh! Chala!
No!
You gotta hit those, man!
No!
Canadian is just under fire, but the man perseveres. Now, one big difference between this matchup and a matchup that would have happened a month ago is your reset mechanic. Canadian, who is sitting at just below what appears to be 25 HP, might actually be at that 20 HP threshold. You don't get reset to 50 HP anymore.
Yeah.
There's no medic on attack, unless you consider Finka, who's not in play at the moment. So Canadian will just sit at this HP with no chance to get healed back up.
Yeah, there's no real reason to reset anymore. So I guess maybe in some situations if you're worried about a smoke, maybe, but or lesion traps. But for overall, it's not as it's basically been killed off. So yeah, definitely a big change for everybody. Necrox goes for the pre-fire on the pre-made hole, but loses the fight somehow to Brian.
Some sloppy aim on both teams so far.
Yep, we've been seeing that so in this match. The DMRs are a struggle.
Yeah, Chala really probably should have gotten that kill on the Canadian, just as Necrox probably should have gotten that kill onto Brian as well.
Yeah, Bosco's also going to eliminate Geo, so this is looking like a Space Station hold. Pretty well done. Canadian's also low on HP. It's going to be difficult for him to win any of the gunfights moving forward. This is quite an angle from Chala, but he comes off at just the worst moment.
I think he understood that he was about to get pressured here.
Yeah.
Bosco's going to retreat on in. NBK gets taken down. Chala gets Canadian. Finally, it takes you 2 minutes longer.
Oof.
For some reason, Brian is just unkillable on this desk. No matter who steps into his office, Brian will show them the door. SSG will once again take another round. It's gone back and forth here so far on defense for Space Station. and they'll close that gap a little bit, but not by much. They still trail.
Well, that's the worst round we've seen from Evil Geniuses so far. They just got picked off one after another. Everywhere they tried to pressure, losing gunfights. Props to SSG for having the confidence to take them and, well, winning it out. End of story. It was a lockout for Space Station. And we are very close to an even match. Well done for SSG. This seems to be the defensive map so far for the day, as opposed to what we were getting throughout the other two maps. It's the opposite of what you would expect when you're looking at Consulate comparing it to Bank and Club. But hey, things change. SSG now going to be going to the bottom floor. This is their first attempt at the bottom floor. So they went to the new site on the first round of their second half. And that was a really interesting round that Space Station managed to win out. The way that they are setting themselves up is quite interesting. Only one ACOG being bought. ACOG is very useful on this particular bomb site. Mirror windows are going to be available though, so at least there's that. Lots of information to be gathered here from Space Station. Mirror window most useful though, likely to be the bathroom one, as it will allow for an extended roam from Space Station, assuming it is a bathroom mirror window. We don't actually, I didn't see it, so nope, doesn't look like it. Just a reinforced drop down.
Yep.
Oh, second one going inside a kitchen. No, you don't see this ever, so cool.
I mean, the way that EG plays Console is they've done it a number of times actually where they haven't ran a hard breacher. So if you suspect that EG is going to run a singular hard breacher, then your reinforcements matter quite a great deal, especially if you're just bringing a singular Hibana, which is typically what EG brings because they don't really run a thermite on this map. Good thing that the person who died was Canadian and not young, because then that would have been of grave consequence to Evil Geniuses, but still Space Station will take an early lead with a great placed C4 that came out and absolutely pulverizes Troy Canadian himself. So great C4 there from Rampy. But keep in mind that if you look at Space Station's lineup, they will have one C4 remaining in the hands of Chala, and that will be the only person with any real consistent plant denial outside of Bosco on the smoke.
The Geniuses look pretty far from going for a plant right now.
God, that jazz was smooth.
It was. You know, I don't think I've ever stopped to listen to it.
You should one day.
I didn't really hear it very well. It was in my right ear cup, but I could kind of make it out.
You should one day.
I will one day.
One day.
I'm going to go do a custom when I get home. I'm going to do just that. MVK on his drone. And you can see he's got a target in his sights. That target, Rampy, has yet to spot the drone thanks to his optic likely obscuring it. MVK clearly does not know that, though, and both of these players are now aware of each other's location. Hey, he found the drone. Rampy gets it. And now he is no longer being called out.
There might not have been somebody sitting on that drone, because I have a feeling NVK probably would have pushed a little more.
Probably
especially
not.
if you had that information, right? So
yeah.
Unlikely. There's a second C4 that goes out, finds Geo, and SSG is warming up. It's taken them a little while to be able to find their footing against Evil Geniuses, but boy, is it working out for the time being. It doesn't even look like Geo was able to use much of his utility here on the site. He can help just lock everybody down with the concussive blasts from the lifeline. NBK, who is seated on those Visa stairs, has fallen off and is rotating to help the rest of his team. He'll go over towards the spiral stairs as Brian had been pushed up, waiting to see if he could find anybody. Necrox will need to confront both of these mirror windows, a difficult task. So he's just going to wander on down amidst the shroud of smoke. The teammates not too close by, and it'll be all separate pushes from Evil Geniuses with the daunting task of being able to close down on this site. Necrox wanders on in, waiting to see any possible fluorescent yellow as he gets down, and so does Rampy. And it's all up to Necrox. Young is on. Is it going to be a flawless round? Yeah, it is. Put that one in the books. 5 members of SSG are still alive at the end of the round, and would you look at that, they pick up round number 5. We will need all 12 rounds of this engagement between these two teams in order to secure us a victor, and it might end up being a draw anyways.
We're very close to it. Oh no, not another draw for Space Station Gaming. No, please. I think that Space Station might even prefer a loss. No, that's going too far. But they've had a lot of draws this season, and that would be a really, really bad result for Space Station if they were to get it here again. Though they've had quite a rally on the defensive half. It's been impressive. 3 of their 4 rounds played going the way of Space Station. They're going to have to continue that now on the middle floor, which is the one site they were unable to defend when attempted last time. Thinking Nade's going to be putting some bulletproof cameras upstairs. It's going to be heavy roam on the top floor, as we've seen many times before on this site. It's essential that you hold control of the projector for as long as possible to deny an easy entry from the attacking team into the main lobby. Some interesting holds being made. Not really sure what the thought process is. I mean, maybe just a distraction or small. Yeah, okay. Cool. Heavy setup on the top floor, as we just talked about. Rampy playing castle again. Looks like most of his barricades, though, did not go upstairs.
The Teller's Archive site was open, by the way, and so we're going to go to the lobby.
Yeah, I guess it was just a pure curveball, nothing but.
I mean, it works, right? You catch them off guard. It's your very first time, and I think it's one of those things where if it doesn't work, then you can be quite critical of the fact that it didn't work out. That's like teams on Border going straight to, you know, bathroom tellers.
Mm.
It sometimes just is not. It's a gamble that can pay off, but a lot of times it doesn't. Right? It's like an open area hold as well in bank. So, good moves by Spacestation, caught EG off guard. And now EG have not really been able to recover all this well. The defense on Consulate have just been so strong.
For both teams.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which team it is here. Now, the last time that we saw an attack on lobby, went EG's way, they were able to wrestle control from the upstairs pretty fast and then clamp down on the rest of the site. We'll see if that's the case this time, as EG seems to be a bit split, whether they're taking admin or whether they're taking over on the console side of things. Last time around, NVK was so pivotal, not just in terms of fragging potential, but also those air jabs will lock down a certain part of the map, allowing EG to invest in map control elsewhere and not really have to sweat too much about possibly being pushed from the back, as long as you got those air jabs still in play. And there's going to be 3 of them that can be set down at any moment.
Thinking Nade could need some damage there from the long angle. That's also from the long desk. Bosco also lit up. There is a dock in play, though, so heals are available. Drone gets destroyed, and he's unsure where from, but oh, what a shot from NVK. He's going to down Bosco, who will be healed up by Thinking Nade. That's a good job to Thinking Nade to save his teammate. Unfortunate that NVK was not aware that he downed an enemy in that situation. Evil Genius is doing some damage upstairs, but ultimately the dock has brought Space Station back from the brink. That probably would have been an easy double kill for EG, but now EG's just going to fall back, and Rampy's going to get the first kill onto NVK. So the tides have turned, but Evil Geniuses have at least gotten control of Projector, which means they can focus attacking on the main lobby, as long as they keep any defenders from pushing into Projector, which they are doing via the balcony.
That's where things get a little bit hairy now for EG, as they might not have a ton of utility. It really rests on whether Geo's use those 2 frag grenades, whether Necrox has a logic bomb left or not. But that's a clean kill from Young. Saban is going to run on in right through the smoke. Geo picks up 1 onto Bosco, and oh, a flick from Canadian will give EG a massive advantage. Nade trying to keep it close. He'll shut down Geo. Rampy will be able to stop Young in his tracks. 15 seconds to go. Thinking Nade above. Rampy on yellow. The locations of the 2 remaining members of SSG might be completely unaware in terms of Evil Geniuses. Rampy shuts one down, and Thinking Nade is there, and SSG will take their very first lead of the game. They are fired up, and they will at least walk away with 1 point, and we are 1 round away from Space Station maybe tying yet again.
Oh man, Space Station in their draws. They are big on those 6-6s. I could just feel it happening. That's the thing, is like Space Station have been on such an amazing comeback, and I want to get hyped for their comeback, but I can feel the 6-6 happening. It's coming, guys. It's right around the corner. That's the way it seems. Every time Space Station are in this position, right here, 6-6. We'll see. We'll see. That last round, I honestly thought EG was going to be able to get the rally. They were fragging out in the main lobby. One thing that I find extremely curious is that instead of just planting in main lobby, Young chose to run into Piano. And that's why he died to Rampy, who came from the yellow stairs. Maybe just plant in main lobby. It happened, and now it's done. Evil Geniuses find themselves on match point. They need to win this. If they can, they will get 1 point, but that's going to hurt their chances at regaining that top spot. Oh, Chala. Very close to hitting that shot by the gas station. Canadian, though, playing on Ash. Very fast. Hard to hit that.
It's the second time Chala's gone for that exact same maneuver, just looking a little bit differently this time.
It was through the metal windows, the spiral little rail one.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's where the Shate spot would be.
Is it called that Shate spot?
I think Shate has to get some credit for popularizing it.
It's true. It's true. I think Cantor Raketti also did that foolproof camera on bank that faces towards the top of garage. There's another thing I think we can give credit for.
I believe there was a Twitter thread about that today, actually.
There was, there was a Twitter thread about that. Yeah.
What a thread that was.
You gotta give respect where it's due.
Those OGs. Nobody calls it Kanto spot anymore.
Do you know, in North America, there was a player who invented throwing grenades from below, and I don't even remember what his name was.
You don't respect the OGs, Michael.
I don't respect the OGs as an OG.
It's a recurring theme here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, final round between these two titans of the region. Wouldn't show it on the scoreboard for SSG, or rather the standings, as they have lagged behind their competition, but they have one round to prove that they are capable of beating the best that NA has to offer. So far, the only team that's been able to get a victory over Evil Geniuses this season, Reciprocity, who just lost quite handily to Accelerate. So, second half of the season could go a little differently. Got 90 seconds left to work with here for EG, as both frag grenades from Geo will get tossed on in, and there goes a logic bomb as well from Necrox, but doesn't really seem to have shaken SSG much at all.
The fact that one of those Excaros was successful is huge, even though the rest of them are getting denied. Actually, he just shot his own. I'm guessing the reason is he doesn't want to be pressured from long desk. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that was Young shooting his own Excaros. Bosco, so second guessing, but hey, whatever, it's done now. Canadian is going to go down on the connector window. Good job to Bosco there for maintaining that control. That's going to allow him a lot of flexibility in denying the A-bomb site using those gas canisters. He's also got Brian playing the long angle from bathroom and Chala playing the long angle from, oh yeah, you guessed it, CEO. Smokes come out though, and the logic bombs at the same time. Young is going for the plant. He's in the midst of the smoke though and has to move. Dokkaebi Logic Bomb's doing some great work here. Young barely alive. He could die to anything at this point. Thinking Nate comes up from behind and takes out Necrox. Brian eliminates Young because the desk is broken. You see Geo working his way into sight, but he's all alone. He's going to lose the fight to Chala. Spacestation, a really solid lockout there, and they will win the match. No draw for them.
When you win 5 of your 6 defenses, things tend to go quite well for you and the rest of your team. And it was a bit of a slow start for players like Chala and players like Brian, but they picked it up in that second half and were able to make some great contributions, both in terms of utility and in terms of fragging potential. And it was very much needed, let's put it that way. Space Station claws out a pretty impressive victory over Evil Geniuses, toppling the former Titans of NA and keeping these standings really close. This is a victory for Reciprocity as well, as they still are only 1 point back of EG on those standings.
Today is the day of underdogs. EXG beating Reciprocity, SSG beating Evil Geniuses. And then, you could say the Rogue DZ match, less crazy. I mean, either one of them could have won that one. But still, great job to SSG, great job to EXG, and, well, I guess great job to DZ as well. Great overall matches today. That last one a little bit of a surprise. I am just especially happy that it wasn't a draw. That's what I'm really happy about. No other circumstance would I be happy other than when SSG is playing.
I think a lot of people probably expected EG to walk away with this.
Yep.
I know I did.
It was 66% of people thought EG would.
I went 0 for 3 on my predictions today.
I went, well, I don't predict.
I don't usually predict either.
Yeah.
But I have been asked to, so I have started, despite my opposition to the process.
Okay.
And I went 0 for 3.
I didn't get asked to, so I don't make predictions. I didn't.
I mean, we don't make predictions usually. But a really big victory for Space Station. A really big victory for Accelerate Gaming as well, and a big victory for Dark Zero, who will now sit alone atop the scoreboard, but we'll get to the standings in just a bit. But first, we have an interview with Space Station Gaming. And I'm imagining that's going to be Mr. Justin Woods, who I think I'm the only person who's interviewed you this season.
Oh, okay. No, Milosh did.
Did Milosh interview you once?
Yeah, last week.
Okay.
We only have 3 wins, but we're trying to get more,
You don't get interviewed for draws, I found out. I don't know.
Yeah, it turns out.
Well, I appreciate seeing you again. It's always nice to have you here. Congratulations on your victory today. You are still statistically able to make it to the playoffs. If you're going to do so, victories like today are going to mean an awful lot. What was your prep work going up against EG? Did you expect to go to Consulate? Did you expect to go with the operator bans? You banned out Capitao and Maestro. Take us through the game today.
Yeah, we thought that they were going to want to take us there. We didn't want to go there, but we assumed that that's probably where it was going to end up being. I'm not going to tell you the map I wanted it to be, but yeah, this is pretty much what we expected. It was either this or another map, and we were ready with the bans. We thought that, usually people expect us not to ban Maestro because of Redeemer in the past. Like, we always let Maestro through, so we thought that might throw him off. So yeah, we were pretty prepared for this one.
You started off your second half on defense. You went to Teller's Archives immediately. Now, as somebody who's been involved in the scene for quite so long, I'm sure you are well aware of a lot of teams gambling on the oddball site to start off a defensive half and falling short. What was the point of that gamble? Was it simply to catch them off guard? Because you didn't end up going back to Teller's Archives for the remainder of your defense.
I mean, the whole point is, I think our that site for us is pretty telegraphed. But the fact that we don't have 6-pick and reveal, we knew that they wouldn't know we were going there. So we went there.
It's a very fair point. And that's some strategy that needs to come in as well. Now, looking at the remainder of the season, you got 5 more games to go. Well, technically 4, because you're going to have the 1 bye week. That would have been your match against Orglis. What's your prep work for the next 4 weeks to ensure that you maximize the amount of points? You still got 12 points on the table. You're going to get an extra 3 just from that match or the bye week against Orglis. You got 12 points on the table. What's your game plan? What's your war path forward through NA?
Yeah, just pretty much like a boot camp. Trying to make sure that we're ready to go on all the maps. And, a good thing too, I think EG is a really good team. I think that they're definitely going to get through, go to land. So try to scrim with them as much as possible and just keep getting better.
Last question, Brian's impact on the team. You talked about it a bit last week. Is it still going? It's still going well. I'm assuming he's still helping with the calls. I'm assuming that he's still gelling quite well with the roster. You put him on solely hard breach on attack, but on defense he showed a little bit of flexibility here, and that's something that you wanted, I'm assuming, when you picked him up.
Yeah, exactly. I think Brian can play a lot of ops, and so it kind of makes us less predictable. Like I was kind of talking about, try to get rid of some of our old strats where we were a little bit more predictable. I think the big thing really is the fact that the longer that he's with us, the more that he can take over fully on the IGL roles. Bosco is helping him a lot right now with it, but the more and more, this week, he's taking over a lot of the role, and it really kind of frees Bosco up to make sure that him and Rampy are coordinated and doing whatever they need to do, and not so worried about how the plant's going to go down because Brian's taking full duty on that.
Well, that's excellent to hear, and it's good to see him flourishing with the team on his second tour of duty with all of you. Now, once again, congratulations on your victory. Anything to say to the fans, etc., before we end the interview?
Like always, thanks for everyone. No matter what team you support, I really do appreciate everyone being here. And then a special shout out to Furious G and Zeronic. Thanks for the votes, boys.
So you know, Rise is...
self-relegation. It's a good way to put it. Yeah, definitely. And
Orgless roster. Brian went to Space Station. Yeti is now down in Challenger League. My man is currently looking for team.
he'll probably get one.
Acid and Crazy both went to Rise Nation. But
There you go.
that's it for us. North American Playday number 9 in the books. We'll be back in just under 48 hours with Latin America for their 9th Playday. And it should be both Robert Flynn and Gaston Milos the Medic Finge taking over that broadcast. We'll see you then in just about 2 days or so. Enjoy the rest of your evening.